Hey, here's another video on Snap. This video is going to try and highlight having sprites interact with each other in kind of a dialogue, and I'll kind of show you some new blocks to use with that. The main blocks that are new that we're going to play around with in this video are these two right here: when I receive and broadcast. These are going to let the two sprites communicate with each other, and we'll kind of show you how they work in this video. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to get this sprite a costume real quick. So clicked on the sprite, clicked on costume, and I'm just going to pick one of the built-in ones. It doesn't matter too much which one I pick. Maybe I'll pick this one. And I'll import. Maybe I'll do two costumes just so I can pick. All right, we'll start with this one. And we're just going to have this sprite, when the green flag is clicked, we're just going to have it say, "Hi, what's your name?" In a second, we're going to have another sprite and it will make sense. I'm going to move this sprite over, and I'm also going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to set the size to maybe 60%. All right, that's perfect. Now I'm going to add another sprite. So I'm going to click this add new sprite. I'm going to go to costumes. I'm going to add a costume for this one. And let's say let's scroll down and find something new. Let's say I get this polar bear. I'm going to get these two costumes. All right, so at first I want the polar bear to be, so polar bear A is not waving and polar bear B is waving. So at the beginning of the program, I'm going to get the green flag here, and I want the polar bear to switch to costume A, which is not waving. So now when I hit the green flag, as long as these scripts are both connected to green flags, they'll both start at the same time. So this one will say, "What's your name?" Now I'm going to have the polar bear is going to say, "I'm polar bear. How about you?" The problem with this is when I run this, they talk at the exact same time. One way around this is if you keep track of all the time. So I know that this takes 2 seconds for the first sprite to talk. I could add a wait. I could go to control and I could add a wait, and I could tell this one to wait 2 seconds. And now when I click on it, the first sprite, maybe we can give this, if you want to give the sprite a name, you can go up here to this little gray box. So I don't have to call them sprite 1 and 2. Call this one cat. I'll call this one bear. And it'll just be a little easier to keep track of which is which. Now when I run it, the cat will say, "What's your name?" And then 2 seconds later, the polar bear will say, "I'm polar bear, how about you?" We could do something similar here with having this one wait and respond. But there's maybe a better way of doing it, especially if you have three or four sprites and you have a lot of stuff happening. Otherwise you're gonna have to do a lot of math and adding up all the seconds. So a better way of doing this is, let's say after this sprite waits and says, "Hi, I'm polar bear," instead of just having the cat count the seconds of waiting, we're gonna have the polar bear broadcast. So I'm in the polar bear's code, and we're gonna add this broadcast block. And what this will do, it'll send a message, and then any of the sprite that's listening for it can activate when they hear it. So we're going to need to add a new message, and we're going to call it bear asks. And the reason we're calling it bear asks is the bear is asking the cat the question. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the script for the cat. And the cat is going to get a when I receive. And once you make the broadcast block called bear ask, the drop down for when I receive will have bear ask. So now whenever the bear is finished, so whenever it gets to this block of code, it's going to broadcast this thing called bear ask, which we just made up. Whenever the cat hears bear ask, let's have it do a couple things. Let's have it change to the new costume. We'll have it switch to costume C, and then we'll have I'm cat. And then maybe after that we'll have it say let's play catch. All right, so now when I run it, you'll see that this will start. The bear will start at the same time, but the bear has a wait. And then it talks, and then it'll broadcast. The cat will receive that, and it just kind of goes in that order. And we'll see it here. This takes a little bit of practice. And then the cat talks, and the cat switches to the costume. Let's add a third sprite. I'm going to add a new sprite. I'm going to get the costume, which is going to be a ball. And we're going to have the cat kick the ball to the bear. So I'm just going to grab this soccer ball, import it. Now at the very start of the program, I'm in the code for the ball. At the very start of the program, I want the ball to be above the cat. So I want it to be so far above the cat that you can't even see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at 250, and maybe we'll make the x is to the left, so maybe we'll make it -100. This is going to put it off the screen, which is where I want it when the code starts. So when the code starts, we won't see the ball. So they're going to ask, "Hi, what's your name?" I'm Polar Bear. I'm Cat. Actually, we're gonna, and let's play catch. I'm gonna add a costume so that the cat starts off in the other costume. So I'm just gonna go back up here, and so here's what we have so far. The soccer ball, it has not done anything yet. But I want to, after she says let's play catch, I want the soccer ball to come down to where her foot is. So we're going to go to the soccer ball, and we're going to get a when I receive block. Now we need the cat to broadcast something, so we're going back to the cat. I know there's a lot of back and forth. This is kind of the challenge when you have multiple sprites. We're going to broadcast a new thing, because we don't want it to be bear ask again. We have to give it a new, so maybe kick ball. All right. Now when the ball receives, so I'm back at this code for the ball. When the ball receives kick ball, we're gonna have it glide, and I'm gonna turn on the mouse X and mouse Y sensor, because I want to find the coordinates for her foot. So it's at negative, I don't know, maybe a little bit higher, maybe -65, +10. This will depend on where you put your shapes. I can turn this off because I think that's going to go, and we'll say that'll take 2 seconds. All right, so let's just try this out. Responds, it says I'm Cat. Let's play catch, and then the ball should slide down to her foot. Great. Then after it gets here, maybe we want it to go a little bit lower, so maybe we make the Y 0, and we want to go a little bit to the right, so maybe -45. Let's just click that to see if that's where we want. Yeah, that's pretty good. After it gets there, then we're going to have it go to the bear, and so we'll give it the bear is over here at like 125 and -20. So I'm going to get another glide block. What was the numbers? 125 and -20. Forgot exactly what I said. Let's see if that's where I want it. All right, perfect. This will glide down to her foot, and then in 2 seconds, and then in 1 second we'll glide to the bear. Then afterwards we'll do one last broadcast, and let's call it hit bear. All right, now when the ball gets to the bear, we'll have one more when I receive, and we'll get hit bear, and the bear will just have it say, I don't know, maybe we'll say ouch, because she kicked him. All right, and we'll run it and we'll see how it goes. All right, so far so good. I'm Cat. Let's play catch. And then the ball falls, bounces. All right, cool. That's exactly what I wanted. This is just kind of to get you started. You're going to create your own code. You're going to use multiple sprites. And the main thing I want you to work on is having each sprite with a couple of scripts so that they have different scripts, and work on using broadcast and receive. So if you want to coordinate the action between them so one doesn't start until the other one finishes, give one a broadcast, give it a name, and just remember that name, and then have the other ones receive it. You will have to keep track of what the names for the broadcast and the receives are, because they need to match up in the right order. So that's why I gave them names to help me remember. So like kick ball, I know is when the thing kicks the ball, and when the ball actually gets to the person, it's called hit bear. This is just so that I can stay organized. You could really call them whatever, but it's helpful for you if you give them some meaningful names. So just create something, have several sprites, have a dialogue, have them do some actions, have some things move around. You can have be creative with it, make it your own. All right, good luck.